Well, I'm still wearing my football jersey. I just got a set of cards delivered by our wonderful friends at Canada Post. For anybody who's following, there may be a Canada Post strike. I was just talking to a guy who delivers here because I went to school with him. And apparently, the government at the last minute now has given them a new offer, which is a lot more union friendly. They do that. It is the hope of every boss and every employer to break their union. And there's certainly been a lot of vilifying of unions, especially south of the border. In the U.S., unions are considered Satan and communists and Nazis and horrible. If you enjoy your weekend, you better thank a union, and if you enjoy getting paid time and a half after 8 hours, that's from a union as well. Anyways, what I got today, I'm just showing because not everything I get's old. I say that wearing a Carson Palmer jersey. What I have is a brand new set, well, newish. Oh look, it's Frederick Anderson. This is a new set from this past season, anyways. Hockey cards, Upper Decks Series 1 and 2. It does not have the short print cards because with the short prints, I would have been paying about 150 bucks for the set. Without the short prints, I paid 20 bucks, and the packs are like expensive. I will take sets of just the standard cards because I'm a collector. I don't care about all the inserts. So, the microphone will be here tomorrow, so the shitty audio that you're hearing now should be dead as of tomorrow. But, yeah, I'm going to go through these. Milan Lucic is in Edmonton. Apparently, defenseman Demers is in Edmonton. Oilers signed Demers, pass on Luch. Although if they sign Luch, then... See, there's two angles on this. First off, I think he's going to want way too much money. I think we're looking at $6.5 million a year because apparently $6 million isn't enough for him. So $6.5 million a year, he's not worth that. The Kings would have moved hell and high water to keep him if he was worth that. They didn't. That should be a red flag. Two, I'd rather not see him sign in Edmonton just because I play the Canucks a lot, and I'd rather not see Luch take another dirty run at Ryan Miller or whoever. He's prone to losing his temper, taking stupid penalties, and he's not worth all of the penalties, suspensions, and bullshit you get. You still got Burrows on the Canucks, so if you have Burrows and Lucic, guess what? Referees are going to hate the fuck out of the Canucks again. They got rid of Kessler, it was a start. Burrows was supposed to be the finish of that. But, man, everybody keeps talking on the Canucks forum about, oh, if we have Triamkin and got Branson and then we have Lucic, nobody will mess with us anymore. I don't understand that Neanderthal theory. Okay? If being big and tough means you're not going to get messed with, Eric Lindros would have had a full career in the NHL. Pavel Bure had Gino Odjick watching out for him. Didn't stop his knees from going. No, it wasn't related to a hit that he took or a shot to the head or anything, but his career was still shortened. So the idea that, the Canucks will be able to play with more room because Lucic... Here's the deal. Let's say that you have the Sedins and Hansen. You have Lucic on the second line. Here's what happens. And I say this as a Bruins fan and watched it happen. Somebody runs Sedin. Like in Boston, somebody runs Bergeron or Lucic. Or not Lucic. Krejci. So somebody runs your finesse forward. Lucic is on the bench. It's not his line. Whistle blows. Line change. Luch comes over the boards. He starts chirping at the guy who threw the hit. He starts chirping at the rest of the bench. He starts chirping at this guy and that guy. Next thing you know, the puck drops, and Lucic just dropped the gloves with somebody who didn't throw the hit. He probably takes an instigator. He's probably in the box, and you're probably killing a penalty. That's what Milan Lucic does for you. That's what his toughness does for you. That's what it did for the Bruins. That's why the Bruins got rid of him. Now, people are saying, oh, maybe the Bruins will re-sign him. I fucking hope not. Hey, I don't want to see Eriksson go. I would love to see Eriksson stay in Boston. The guy's fantastic. If Louis Eriksson comes to Vancouver, I have no complaints whatsoever. He'll sign for a lot of money. He won't score 30 in Vancouver this year, but you can pencil him in probably for 20 to 25, and that's pretty damn good compared to what the team did last year. Lucic is not worth the money. That's his game. Yeah, he'll score you goals, but he does it in a Sergio Momesso way. For every goal he scores, he's going to take a bad penalty. He's going to hook, he's going to slash, he's going to squawk. He's going to take unsportsmanlike conduct. He's going to have roughing penalties. He's going to be the guy that's standing in front of the net on the power play and trying to get room, and Giordano won't let him get there, so he'll turn around and punch Giordano in the face. Power play's over. That's Lucic's game. I don't understand why Vancouver's so enamored with him, other than because he grew up in the area. I agreed with what was said on Sportsnet. I watched Hockey Central, and they said, instead of Lucic, why not? And this was actually John Shannon said this, and I really don't agree with him, but he's right on this one. Troy Brouwer and Andrew Ladd make more sense. I'm not an Andrew Ladd fan, but he is a local kid, and maybe playing in Vancouver helps boost his point totals. Maybe Ladd gets fantastic chemistry in the top 6 of Vancouver. And if you add Ladd and Brouwer to the Canucks, they get bigger, stronger, and they're not taking a bunch of stupid penalties like they would if they got Lucic. Because in my eyes, it looks like signing Brouwer and Ladd will cost you probably $1 million more than just signing Lucic. I'd rather have the two of them than one Lucic. And if Luch signs a Vancouver, apparently the mayor was talking to Luch, and it's like, are you fucking serious? I don't even understand it from Luch's point of view. I remember when Luch was a member of the Bruins and came into Vancouver, and there was some kind of a fight that went on at a bar because he was at the bar. He didn't start the fight. Okay, I don't like Lucic, but he didn't start that fight. That was fans starting a fight with him. It's pretty fucking pathetic. And he declared at that point he didn't like the city of Vancouver. And I wouldn't blame him, but I don't understand why you want to come back and play here. Because, yeah, the fans will all be buying him beers and all, hey, Luch, you're great. Until he takes that stupid penalty that costs you the game, and then fans will be, you're a bum. You suck, Luch. The hell, we're paying you $7 million a year. I know how fans are. I fucking listen to them. I've listened to sports talk since Dan Russell was doing it on my radio in the 80s. And Canucks fans have been reactionary the whole time. As soon as a guy has a bad game, he's a bum. Trade him, he's a bum. He's a loser. And I don't do that. I don't do that with other teams either. I honestly think the Oilers, the way they're going with McDavid, Puljujarvi, Nugent Hopkins, Draisaitl, I'm telling you, you've got a fantastic forward group. Sign Demers and tell Lucic, you know what, you should go play in Vancouver. I mean, if he signs in Edmonton, my concern is that he'd injure a player on the Canucks when he gets pissed off. The Burrows would piss him off, and he'd go out and take a fucking cheap shot at one of the Sedins. That's my concern. Because he is big, he is strong, tough as an ox, and he can injure people. And I don't miss him on the Bruins. If he goes back to Boston, I'm not going to be happy. Stamkos, I'll weigh in on this. I'm almost to the 10-minute mark. I'm trying to keep this short because I hadn't planned on doing another video. Just I got these cards and then the Sports Central thing. Stamkos, if I had to speculate right now, Detroit's got to be a front runner. I know Toronto is big on getting him, and they've got the room. But I think Detroit would be a front runner. They've got the Cup history. They've got Ken Holland. They've got a solid, not spectacular team. You add Stamkos to that team, suddenly they're probably a contender. They're a goalie away from being a contender. I think you have to move Jimmy Howard, and you have to figure out something behind Mrazek. Commit to Mrazek. There's a couple other holes in the lineup, but if you've got Stamkos as your centerpiece, other players are going to want to come play for you. I wouldn't rule Florida out. There's something that tells me the Florida Panthers could come in out of nowhere and sign Stamkos. And they've got a good, solid young team, and they won the division, and they're clearly, with all the turnovers since the end of the season, they want something. So Stammer could end up there. And then the other thing that got brought up on Sportsnet is, what about Arizona? Arizona's got all kinds of cap room. Even though they've taken on Datsuk and Pronger's contracts, they've still got cap room. So can the 27-year-old GM work magic and talk a forward who's roughly the same age he is, Stamkos, into playing there for the next 6 or 7 years. You can build a franchise around Stamkos in Arizona. You can. So, Toronto is still there, obviously. Toronto is the cap room and they want him. But there's a lot of suitors. Those ones make sense. And the Islanders make sense. The Islanders have a ton of cap space. And if you put Stamkos on a line with Tavares, it looks fantastic. Those things look fantastic on paper. They don't always work out in real life. I remember when Korea and Solani signed in Colorado, and everybody's like, oh, give Colorado the cup now. And they both struggled. Neither of them did very well in Colorado. And, Korea moved on to St. Louis, and Solani ended up going back to Anaheim. I think he went to San Jose. No, he was in San Jose before Colorado, and then he went back to Anaheim. And they both did better after they left Colorado. So getting that big name free agent looks great, and then you never can tell how they're going to mesh with the rest of the team. So anyways, those are my thoughts of the day, and I guess we'll see where Stamkos lands. The other thing, one thing John Shannon said that I didn't agree with was he said he didn't think that Stamkos would sign on Friday, and that maybe he'll wait and see what the best offer is. No. They're talking offers now. They're not allowed to, but they are. There's no way in hell that they're just sitting there and just, talking about the weather. I mean, you're calling this guy to talk money, and you just make sure there's no listening devices so the NHL can't zing you on it. But you're talking money in term. So when July 1st rolls around, he wants this over with. Stamkos is sick of talking about contracts and where he's going to end up. He'll sign as soon as possible on July 1st, commit to that team wholeheartedly, and then the whole thing goes away and he can just focus on playing hockey. I do still wonder about the blood clots. He says he's 100%. Of course he does. What's he going to say? Well, I'm a free agent and I feel about 70%. The blood clot issue, we don't know what's really going on. Come on. He's going to say what he's going to say to maximize return, as any of us would. I always get mad at, players for, trying to get an extra million or two. Oh, he makes $9 million. Why does he want $11 million? Because he can get $11 million? Because any of us would do the exact same thing? Unless you get $2 million less and you get a Stanley Cup, maybe. But if it's, apples and apples, you're going to take the freshest, ripest apple. And that might be the $11 million apple. So we'll see what he does on July 1st. But those are my thoughts. I'll get more into free agency on Thursday, the day before all hell's going to break loose. So, awesome. Thanks for watching.